Debt in Kenya is currently a national crisis, especially personal debts. Our president, when he was being sworn in, declared that almost 5 million Kenyans had been blacklisted by CRB and hence closed them out of any possible borrowings. 5 million Kenyans in a country with 50 million people is a huge percentage, considering most of the blacklisted ones are adults. Many factors lead to crippling debts at a personal level. Today's question is whether a person who is in acute debt can arise and be debt-free. What would it take to be cleared from creditors? There's a story about a woman who is a widow who arose from debt to become the first oil-rich Jewish woman. Her life changed because of oil. This is a story in 2 Kings 4, 1-7. The wife of a man from the company of the prophets cried out to Elisha, "Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that he revered the Lord. But now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as his slaves." This is the situation. She is in debt. The debt is caused by the death of her husband. And now the creditors, because they must come and collect, have come to her home. They have asked her to pay. Should I have anything to pay? And they have said they will take her 2 sons. It is a dire situation. Now, it would appear that God decided to help this woman. And the first thing he did is he sent her an advisor. And the advisor in this case is Prophet Elisha. Now, to come out of crippling debt, maybe you need to start by getting an advisor. The advisor asked the woman, "What is in your house?" God's way of helping us many times requires us to recognize something we have. What is in your hand? Remember the question to Moses. The woman said, "Nothing. There is nothing in my house." It is tragic when a man does not recognize what is in his hand. Something triggered her, and she remembered that there is a little jar of oil left in the house. And she says, "Except a small jar of olive oil." That's it. The recognition of what she has is what God awaited. The solution to this crippling debt required her to realize and recognize a resource that was within her home and within her reach. There was not going to be any solution before she recognized what she has. And the story goes on. The small jar of oil that she did not initially recognize ended up being the blueprint for her solution out of debt. A small jar of olive oil was her opportunity. You need to recognize your small jar of olive oil and then get an advisor. Within the small jar of olive oil lies a blueprint for coming out of crippling debt, just like it happened for this woman who was a widow.